Today, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and head of the Players Association, Michelle Roberts, are hosting a conference call for all players. Basically, this is to give players a chance to ask questions as the league explores options to resume the season, which, if there are any players watching this show right now, and I know a bunch of you do, please ask good questions for us, please, because we all want some answers. Here's what we do know, at least. The practice facilities for the Portland Trail Blazers and Cleveland Cavaliers are set to be open for the first time today since the season was postponed back on March 12th. The Denver Nuggets were originally scheduled to open today, but Woj is reporting they have postponed until Monday. As for the Mavericks, their facility is not opening today or Monday, guys, even though they are permitted to by the state of Texas, where you both are coming from right now, and by the NBA. Mark Cuban says he's concerned about reopening if the NBA is not allowing teams to regularly test players, something experts do recommend as part of a precautionary protocol. Here's more from Cuban on ESPN Radio's Freddie and Fitzsimmons show, talking about just how hard these decisions are.
I have no idea, honestly. I guess getting feedback in terms of what players would be confident in, because that's what this is all about. Who do we trust with our lives? Seriously. Yeah. If you're a player, who do you trust with your life? If you're a coach or a trainer or anybody for that matter that's, essential personnel and getting something back together, do you trust the hotel that we're going to stay at to keep everything safe? And the technology they're using, the protocols they're using, who do you trust with your life? And that's a big question to ask somebody. But, we all make decisions like that every day. Do you stay in? Do you go out? What do you do? Where do you go for your groceries? All these things. How do you do it?
So, Tracy, knowing that teams, they're not testing players, they're not allowed to, but they are doing temperature checks. I should say they're not allowed to test you if you don't have significant symptoms. But they are doing temperature checks. They have everyone in gloves and masks. They have cleaning crews come in between each player workout. Would you feel comfortable working out in a team facility right now? And I guess that's a separate question from would you even want to?
Listen, I've never been through anything like this. I can only go back to when I was training, getting ready for a season. And what I did, I never went to the practice facility or the arena to get my training in. I always find some local high school, or I would go to Shaq's house and train all the time. But I would never. That's just my experience. I never went to the practice facility or never went to the arena to practice. I always, because I live, outside the city. It was, a 40-minute drive. I didn't want to keep driving there every day, so I found a local church, a local high school, someone that had a gym, and that's where I had my workouts. I never went to the arena. And then when I played for Houston, I was fortunate enough to have a gym at the crib.
Must be nice, Kirk.
So I don't know.
It must be nice. Well, here's how I feel. One thing about it, we all know that Mark Cuban is an intelligent human being. And one thing we also know that not only is he the owner, but he's a fan of basketball. And I know he's fiending for basketball to come back like I am. But I tell you one thing, if Mark Cuban, who lives in Texas, and he have the access to open up his facility to his players, and he has concerns in not opening up his facilities, then I have concerns too. And I'm rolling with him because that means he knows something. He knows something that we don't know. And so, no disrespect to Adam Silver, but Mark Cuban has been very involved for us during this coronavirus pandemic and the NBA. So if he's not opening it up, that means that, all the T's are not crossed and all the I's are not dotted. And then on the flip side of it, how would it look like you're giving certain teams a head start of other teams? What if you said,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? T Mac and Rachel, what if we was going into training camp and you would give certain teams a 2-week head start to basketball? How would that look like? I don't know, but
that's why it's just too much inconsistency in trying to figure out how to make this thing work. It's taking too much, man. If we got to go through all this, why even have a season?
Well, look, that's part of what Mark Cuban was just saying there, right? That it's very complicated. There's all those decisions to be made. And his point about who do you trust with your life is he said we do make these decisions every day, right? When you get in your car, you drive down the highway in Texas where you both live, you are trusting a little bit that the other people driving the other direction aren't just going to swerve into your lane. We know how tragically Monty Williams' wife died a few years ago.
Yes.
You make these decisions every day. It is hard, though, to be confronted with them all at once.
Stop driving with dogs on your lap.
Well, that's true. But it is hard to make them all at once, and that's kind of what the NBA is being asked to do. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that conference call today. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.